Have you ever wondered about creating a glitch effect with no skill? In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's see together how to create a glitch effect without tedious manual operations in Photoshop. Okay, let's get started. I have my base image here, and as you can see, it's a smart object. In fact, if I open it, you can see my layers. Because I worked on the image a little bit, I removed the background and I applied the gradient. Okay, let's return to our project. All I have to do is duplicate the layer and double click on the duplicated layer to see this window, blending options. Okay, from here you have to uncheck one of the channels, red, green or blue. You need this step to obtain the glitch-like doubling effect. I'm gonna check red because I like the chromatic result, but you can try a different one, of course. Just experiment. Okay, let's confirm. And we don't see anything right now because we need to move the image to see the effect. In fact, if I move the image, I can see the glitch-like doubling effect. But we will proceed in another way. In fact, now I'm gonna add a magic filter. No, it's not magic, but it's a very powerful one. I'm talking about the displace filter. So I will go here, filter, distort, displace. The displace filter is commonly used in professional mockups to adapt the design to the irregularities of a surface, like a t-shirt, for example. But in this case, it proves to be a formidable ally to obtain a really surprising effect. Okay. But before we continue, we need to know something about displacement maps, because the displace filter involves displacement maps. So you need to know how to create a displacement map and what the displacement map is. So let's exit for now and let's talk briefly about displacement maps. So what is a displacement map? A displacement map is basically a grayscale image used to distort another image based on its tonal value. So the distortion depends on the brightness levels of the map. If the map is generated from the lights and shadows of the surface, for example, the distorted image will tend to follow the depressions and reliefs of the surface. But it's not our case, because we're talking about a glitch effect. So we're going to deal with a different kind of displacement map. Before going on, consider that 0 corresponds to the maximum negative shift, 128 no shift, and 255 corresponds to the maximum positive shift. And considering that in the RGB system, 0 corresponds to black and 255 corresponds to white, as I said before, if the map is generated from the lights and shadows of a surface, the distorted image will tend to follow the depressions and reliefs of the surface, but it's not our case. In fact, now I'm going to show you my displacement map, the image I used for my glitch effect. Here's my displacement map, and this image is actually a combination of two images. In fact, you can see here my two images and a couple of adjustment layers. Now you need to know how to create a displacement map, okay? So first of all, you have to download the right image, okay? You can search for stuff like abstract bars, abstract geometric background, glitch texture, almost anything you can think of to transform the image so that it breaks up irregularly, okay? So in my case, you can see abstract bars, abstract horizontal bars, and a glitch texture on the background. Okay. Download the right image. Choose a suitable one, or create your own. Why not? Convert the image to grayscale by desaturating the image. You can simply press Ctrl plus Shift plus U on the keyboard. So keep in mind that you need a grayscale image for your displacement map. Then increase the contrast if necessary. add some blur for natural and soft results, flatten the image so that you have one single layer, and finally export the file as a PSD. Okay. You can see that I have layers, so my image is not flattened, but that's because I was still experimenting with my map. And even though it's not a fundamental step, it's preferable that you flatten the image, okay, before exporting the file as a PSD. Before going on, I'd like to clarify two things. I usually prefer to use a black and white gradient map instead of desaturating the image. Well, because it generally produces a richer visual result. Okay, you can try if you want. And second one, adding some blur to the image that you're going to use as a displacement map, if you want to create a glitch effect, may be useless or even counterproductive. This is because blur means continuity, so a soft and natural result that is ideal for the physical world. So we're talking about objects, fabrics, like a t-shirt, for example. And no blur means breakage, so we're going to have a more aggressive effect, and that's great for the glitch effect for the digital world. So remember this: blur means continuity, so less artifacts, less jaggies, and this is great for the physical world, so objects, fabrics, okay. And no blur means breakage, a more aggressive result, and this is great for the digital world, like the glitch effect. Okay. In fact, I didn't add blur to my image. Okay. Now that you know what a displacement map is and how to create one, let's return to our project. And now I'm going to add a filter, the displace filter. So filter, distort, displace. Let's analyze together these options. Okay, we have these options here: scale horizontally, scale vertically, stretch to fit, tile, wrap around, and repeat edge pixels. Okay, the first ones are very simple to understand: scale horizontally and scale vertically. You have to decide. You simply have to decide where to move the pixels. So if you want to move the pixels horizontally, or if you want to move the pixels vertically. Okay. Then we have two groups of options. The first group of options refers to a situation where the displacement map is smaller or larger than the area to be covered. And the second group of options refers to the blank areas that generate after the shift. Okay, so let's talk about the first group of options, when the displacement map is smaller or larger than the area to be covered. Stretch to fit will make the map match the image size exactly, and tile will repeat the image in a pattern, so you will see the image repeated in a pattern. Okay. The second group of options, as I said before, it refers to the blank areas that generate after the shift. So you need to know that the shift moves the pixels beyond the image borders, so the program needs to know how to fill those areas left empty by the shift. And you have two options. Wrap around, the pixels of the range are replenished on the opposite side, and you can think of it as if the map was wrapped around itself. Okay. The second option, repeat edge pixels, is very simple to understand, because it simply repeat the pixels of the edge. So it extends the image border by repeating the pixels of the edge. And I think it's the best option in most cases because it works very well at reducing artifacts at image borders. So in my case, I will put 30 for scale horizontally and 0 for scale vertically, because I want the pixels to move horizontally only. Okay, and I will leave the default options, stretch to fit and repeat edge pixels. So let's confirm and let's see the magic happen. Of course, I have to choose the file of my displacement map. And here we are. This is my glitch effect. It's awesome. Well, because I generated it without manual operations, it's all automatic. So I created the glitch effect without any effort. I don't like the effect here on her eye, so I'm gonna use the mask of the advanced filters to delete, to erase the effect here on this point. So I'm gonna use a brush, black brush of course, to erase. Okay. Okay, I like it more now. Okay, so basically this is the technique to obtain a glitch effect without manual operations. So it's all automatic and you can create it without any effort. But if you want your effect to be even more cooler, you need to add some more things. Let's add some noise. So filter, noise, add noise. Okay, filter, noise, add noise. Okay, I will leave these options because Photoshop remembers my last settings. Okay, so you can see here. Let's confirm, and I'm gonna add the wind filter. So again, filter, stylize, wind. Okay, let's confirm. And I think it's much better now. But we're not done yet. But well, because I want to adjust the color too. So I'm gonna add an adjustment layer. Color balance. And I want to increase the blue in the midtones. Yes, this way. And I'm gonna add a gradient map too. So gradient map, I will use, I think I will use one of my presets that I have here. Yes, well, I use this for my glitch effect. Let's confirm and let's change the blending mode to soft light. Okay. Now I want to add the classic scan lines, and I'm going to use another filter. So let's create a new layer, a new blank layer. I'm going to fill it with white, this way. Okay. Let's go to filter, filter gallery. You have to choose from this group of effects and sketch halftone pattern. Okay. These are my parameters. So let's confirm and be sure that your foreground color is black. Okay, and let's change the blending mode to darken. Okay, so let's compare my result to my final result here, where I added a retro texture and an exposure adjustment layer for the light. So I will just copy this adjustment layer. So Ctrl+C on the keyboard, Ctrl+V to paste it. Okay. If you want to see my settings, here they are. You can see my settings. And now let's add this texture. I can simply copy it and paste it. Blending mode, lighten. Okay. Yes, we're done. I hope you like this effect. I think it's awesome because I was able to recreate it without any effort. Well, as you can see, it's all automatic and it can save us a lot of time. Well, I hope you like my image. Okay, so this was the method to create the glitch effect without any effort, all automatic, without any skills, without tedious manual operations. Let me know in the comments, well, if you like this tutorial, and see you next time. Bye.